on my phone.
Did it show up? Wait, but I did.
What generation are we?
Oh my God. The old one. Okay.
Hold on. We're trying to figure it out. Hold on, people.
All right. Oh man, I have to do this again. All right. Come on. Copy. There's so many copying things. Wait, it says go live. Can I go live? Oh, brother. All right. I totally screwed up the Instagram live. Sorry. They wouldn't be on Instagram because they wouldn't be able to see it. I'm on YouTube. So,
okay.
Hi guys. Oh, there's some people from Texas.
So can you see their comments then?
Yes, I can. Can you?
I can't. Not on this screen, but if I go to my phone, I'll probably be able to see it.
Okay. Well, I can ask their questions, and everyone will be able to replay it, and it'll be on. Oh, you couldn't do Instagram either. See, thank you for that. Now I know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that can't figure out technology.
Well, I think it's just our generation. We weren't born with it, so we're still learning.
Yeah, it's okay. I will put it on Instagram after I upload it. So anyway,
there we go.
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube family. I'm so excited that everyone is here. And like I said, that you guys can watch this again after. But I have an amazing guest. We have an amazing guest, Emanuelle McIntosh. And I pronounce your name wrong all the time. I'm so sorry for that.
Sounds like somebody else is excited to see me.
My dogs are very excited about this.
I have that effect on dogs. I had this wonderful fan, and his name was Kenobi, and he was this little white dog. And so every time the owner would put my videos on, he would just sit in front of the screen and just stare nonstop at the screen. And then when she turned it off, he would bark and get angry until she turned it back on.
That's so funny.
I have the weirdest influence on animals. I really do. Or when I go outside, I just have this long train of animals following me every step. I just, I ground every morning and I take walks around my big property here. And then they just follow me around wherever I go. It's just really funny.
Well, since you agreed to let me ask you a bunch of questions, can I ask about animals? Wait, but before I do, because I have 1,000 questions, but
you're going to ask me anything.
Okay. But before I do, let me just tell people how we met. It is so funny.
Okay. I'll leave that over to you because my memory of that is very small. I see so many people in a year, so go ahead.
Oh my gosh. Emanuelle basically changed my life. Okay, so I think it was like early 2016, or before that, 2015, I was doing Dr. Brian Weiss's method, and I love him and I love his method, but I had this feeling like something was missing in my life. And I started watching the show Channeling Eric, and I saw you on there, and I was like, wow, she seems like she can really tune in. I wonder if she could help me, So because I felt like I was missing something. And then I made the appointment with you. And at that time, it was much easier to make an appointment with you. And it was so funny because I couldn't figure out the technology. It took me forever. And then finally I get on, and you were saying things like the reason that I was missing something was because I was going to do Dolores Cannon's method, and that you felt like this was the easiest reading. You kept saying that, and that I'd be writing books and I'd be speaking about it and teaching about it. And I mean, I'm totally honest. I thought it was a terrible reading. I was
She was already debating, should I ask for a refund? Well, the thing was, by the time you figured it out, we only had 30 minutes. So spirit warms up and, goes into how you are and things like that. But then they were like, oh my God, we only have 30 minutes, people. Let's get it all in these 30 minutes. So they just went, oh, you're going to do this and you need to do that. They were very direct and they were very clear. There was no, having fun around it, kind of, because normally my readings are fun and, we giggle and they're making jokes, but they were like, okay, we only got 30 minutes, people, so we better get this cracking because she's not going to believe this, and then we got to go there. They already know how you're going to respond, so they probably figured get it all in there.
I mean, it was so good. At the time, I was very skeptical. It was so good that you were channeling like my ancestors. And my thought was, like, you even had names for my relatives and how they were like, oh, saying things like, oh, she's going to be writing books and speaking and we'll be helping her. And I thought, she Googled me.
I remember them saying you're going to be speaking in front of large crowds. I do remember that. And I remember your face. You were like, that was your face. And I thought, oh God, this lady is not happy. Oh, I remember feeling disappointed. I was like, oh, I don't think I reached her. And they kept saying, you will, don't worry, you will. And I was like, okay. I do have readings sometimes where I just feel where people are like, mm-hmm. And then a year later or so many years later, I get an email. Oh my God, it happened just like you said. And I was like,
So you forgot, you forgot, I'm sure you have so many readings. So, a year later, when I realized that you were amazing, you weren't just like mediocre. This was an amazing reading. I'm sorry. I had to learn for myself because I have had this healthy degree of skepticism. And then all the things, like word for word that you were saying came true. I mean, everything in the order. And I reached out to you just because, I Facebook requested our friendship and then said, by the way, you're amazing. All these things came true. Well, you didn't know who I was. And years later, when my book became very successful, you reached out to me for an interview, and I thought it was hilarious.
So one of my friends had purchased Sarah's book, and she was like, oh my God, everything she says in there is what you've been telling me. You should read it. And I'm dyslexic, so I usually don't read books. Sorry, Sarah. I listen to books. I don't read books. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should ask her to, so we can interview and we can talk about the same things because, we're receiving the same information. So I reached out to you. I did not remember you one bit. And you were just like, do you not remember me? So I looked up your name on my, on my client list, and I only had all I had was one bill of 2016. I was like, wow, that was a long time ago. I don't remember this lady at all. But that's how we reconnected. So in some way, the universe pushed us back together, and now we've just been giggling ever since.
I know. Now we're friends, people.
See what happens, but I feel connected to everybody that I channel with, even if I don't remember you. The moment I connect to somebody, I feel like they're family, and then when I meet them in person, you're just family. I treat you like I treat everybody else that I know, and there's no separation for me in that aspect. So
I love that. I feel the same
how
way.
I am. Yeah.
Because we're all in this together. I mean, everybody is really the same. Everybody has issues they're working out.
Even us. Doesn't matter how connected you are. Life remains a struggle, and you're trying to figure things out, and you're learning things every day. I learn every time. Every time I channel, there's something in there that I was like, oh, I didn't know that, or something that helps me in my journey. So I think being here on earth is just an ongoing experience. It's not a learning school because our souls really already know everything. We just come here to experience what we know, and being kind of temporary, forgettable, we forget what we know, kind of helps us to have the experience without the influence of the intellect. And I think that's just what we do. We're just going to continue to experience things, and no matter how high you are in frequency, no matter how connected you are, you're always going to, on a personal level, have a growth that you're going through, an expansive experience. And I think it's just important for me, I see life just as this kind of virtual reality that we're just here to have fun and try to do the best. And we go through trauma. We all go through certain amounts of trauma, but it's just about, choosing how to deal with it, how to use it in your advantage, and it's just about seeing life as, hey, what could go wrong? We die, we go home, we go to our beautiful home, and then we get to choose whether we want to recreate something new. It's really, and it's all here now, so it's already happening. But that's just complex for people. We're very much on that timeline schedule here, but yeah, I think we just need to learn to just be and just have fun and be appreciative for the little things we have. And life is not as complicated as we make it to be. And if we just stay playful, I mean, I'm just a big kid at heart. I will never grow up.
True.
I meet people who are younger than me, and I'm like, wow, they're so grown up. Like I feel like a kid next to them, and then I hear their age, and they're like almost 10 years younger than me. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I feel so adult? And Gerald's the same way. My husband, we're just like two kids, just trying to make the best of it. And we get traumatic stuff, and we've both gone through massive amounts of healing in our past, and but everything is worth it, because everything is an experience that your soul is going check, check, and check. So, I always say a bad day for the ego is a good day for the soul. So it's just,
so true.
We just have to see it that way. And again, don't take life so seriously. It's only a temporary experience. So you might as well make the best of it, and you might as well have fun with it.
Well, I have 1,000 questions. Can I just ask you from
let's start with one.
Oh, okay. All right. From your perspective, if you were to channel what is happening on our Earth right now, or this plane, whatever you want to call it.
Well, and everybody kind of knows. If you're watching the show, you probably have already heard of the ascension. So basically, what's happening is it's very complex if I want to explain it in detail. But basically right now what we're experiencing, and the reason why we have so much kind of chaotic energy around us, is we're being allowed to transform humanity, to transform this earthly plane into something new, brand new. And that's what we call the ascension. And in order to do that, we have to change its frequency. So we've been in this kind of loop of 3D and 4D energy, where we're just kind of in the lower energies that create a massive amount of duality. And although it creates a lot of pain and a lot of suffering, and we're under control and so on and so forth, from a spiritual perspective, all of that is valuable as well. Okay, it's just not fun for us. It could be funner on this planet, right? And so collectively, we've chosen these. So all of our souls have chosen to create a new Earth, in a way. But it's not like us moving to another planet and going knocking on the door and say, "Hi, we're here." It's basically us transforming how we perceive reality. We just start to align with a new, higher perspective of the same Earth. And so the reason everything's kind of chaotic right now, which they say we should start seeing stuff clear up in 2025, is because right now you have 3D, 4D, and 5D all blended into one. We're seeing a bit of everything. We're seeing the awakening. We're seeing everything becoming clear, everything coming to the surface. Look at what's really going on behind the curtain, and look what they're really doing. Look what the manipulation is. And then you have the very 3D stuff. Look at this war. Look at, they're trying to seduce you to look at there, and look, oh my God, there's another disease. And if people don't pay attention, crap, they're not listening. Let's invent another one. And then they go to another one. And they're still trying to influence us in a negative way in order to stay in the 3D, because they don't want the 3D world to end, because that's where they rule. That's where they, and with they, I mean those who created us, those who enslaved us in many different ways and forms. And then you have the 4D, which is usually people who are starting to question things, but they're still not brave enough to move away from the manipulation and the brainwashing. So they're in between, right? And so what you're seeing on the media, on the internet and YouTube and TikTok, and is just a mix of all these dimensions. People are on all different dimensions experiencing each other simultaneously. And so that's why everything is very chaotic. And it just feels like I just want to crawl in my bubble and just lock everything out and just leave me alone until it clears up. Most people who are already in the 5D will try and protect themselves and put themselves in that protective bubble because it's too chaotic. And what they see and a lot of what they experience just simply doesn't resonate with them anymore. And they don't want to allow it into their reality anymore. So if you're feeling the need to just kind of disconnect and just remain close with your friends and your family or whoever you feel comfortable with, that's okay. It's not selfish. It's not ego driven. It's just simply self-protective because you just no longer want to allow the 3D and 4D world into your world. Okay. But that's really what's going on. And that's why everything's just kind of all over the place and people don't know what to think anymore. They don't know what to believe anymore, and Ascension is kind of chaotic, but it is something that hasn't been done for mankind, something that hasn't been done for our planet. So this is something very unique. We're getting a lot of interest. I've been having a lot of ET contact that I never had before. Well, I think they're either the grays or the ebens. So I'm having a hard time still communicating with them, but they've been showing up in my bedroom. They've been showing up in my dreams. They've been helping me physically as well. I remember there was that, what was it? The 8th of April or something. There was something going on globally. And I woke up that morning and oh my God, and my entire body ached. Everything. Like I couldn't move. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't walk. I felt like my body was broken. And I suffered the whole day and I was just completely a wreck. And then that evening I was trying to fall asleep and I was trying to get comfortable, but everything was so painful. And Gerald had been doing healing on me and we were, requesting assistance. Nothing was working. And then I was laying in bed and I was just closing my eyes, just thinking, oh God, it hurts so bad. And then all of a sudden I hear in my mind, and don't open your eyes. And I'm like, okay, because, I'm used to spirits talking to me in the middle of the night. I've been having that since I was like 4. So I'm used to that. And I was like, okay. And I kept repeating it as a mantra, don't open your eyes, because I'm very curious, so I easily get distracted. And I just repeated it over and over. And I just felt my body levitating. And I was like, oh my God, this feels like awesome. And I was like, okay. I had never had a dream where you fly. Some people have these flying dreams. I've always wanted one because I don't know what it feels to fly. But that was my first experience of flight. And I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Don't open your eyes. Don't open your eyes. And I was just floating. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was stuck on the ceiling. Like I hit something. And I was just standing there like, okay, don't do anything. And then they said, okay, don't panic. This is going to feel a little weird. And I was like, okay. Not panicking, only flying to the ceiling. And then I felt my body vibrate. Like it started to glow. Like the vibration was so intense that it became warm. And I swear it was like, it wasn't very long, maybe a minute and a half. And the pain was gone. Everything. My body felt amazing. And I was like, oh my God, you guys can show up more often, do that. Whenever I worked a whole day in the garden and my back's out, you guys can always stop by. And then I felt myself go down and I felt my sheets again. And then I opened my eyes and there was nobody there. And I was like, what? And the next day, of course, I called Gerald down. He was watching a movie. I was like, oh my God, you're not going to believe what just happened. And I could just jump. My whole body was healed and it was just amazing. It was the most amazing thing I've ever experienced. And it was just recently.
Who do you
April.
think?
So I think the way I've seen them, they look like grays, but I think they called themselves the ebens. But I'm not sure because I'm not much I don't do any research or anything. But I think they're called the ebens, but it felt like a weird name, so I wasn't quite sure.
Like big.
Yeah, they like you see kind of in the movies, they're kind of grayish. They had this black suit on, but it didn't really look like they had a suit on, like it was part of their bodies. and I didn't see any eyes. I don't think I was meant to see him at that time because I woke up because I felt a presence. Like, I'm very sensitive. I'm a very light sleeper. The moment I feel a presence, I wake up. And he was standing right next to me. And I think I scared him because I wasn't supposed to wake up. And he just ran and he just disappeared in my wall. I was like, pew! And I told him in my head, I'm like, I don't mind if you come and visit, but please give me some notice. No, I was scared to death. I swear to God. I'm not scared of them, but it's just, you don't expect somebody to stand next to your bed. I don't care who it is.
Can you contact anyone you want? Like right now, could you contact him and channel him, or is that not possible? I don't know how you work.
So when I connect, I only connect people who are willing to connect with me. So I don't force them or anything. There's a lot of channels I notice that they're just, as soon as somebody's dead, boom, they channel them. Give them some time, for Pete's sake. I mean,
how much time? How much time?
You know, the way that spirit, like my dad, for example, and my sister-in-law died. They told, they didn't show up for another 6 months. Oh. So I think they need time. So I question some of those kind of channelings, but then you never know. Everybody channels differently, but I don't force anybody to come. I don't say, okay, now I want to channel you. They find me, and if they have something to say, they can reach out to me, and then I will share it with them. But I never reach out to them, if that makes sense.
Like, who's around you now?
Well, I always have my spiritual team with me. So, and I've been having Jesus, or Yeshua, the way he likes to call himself, around me a lot, which is weird because, I didn't grow up with religion at all. And he just kind of showed up in a moment where I was ready to quit. I was like, this is too much for me. This is too much sadness, too much. People were trying to control me. People were telling lies about me and just spreading incorrect information. People who I've never had readings with, people I don't even know. And it got to a point where I was just like, it's not worth it. We got death threats. My children got death threats at some point. And I was like, you know what? This is not, no. And I was crying because I know that this is what I'm meant to do. So I was confused. Why is this happening if this is what I'm meant to do? And I remember crying in my shower. And that's usually when spirit reaches out, is when I'm in the shower. Like, I think it's just because the water connects better. And Jesus said, at first I was surprised that he showed up because I didn't believe he was real. I thought he was just a man-made story. That's the truth. I mean, I never read the Bible. I never went to church. I'm just not raised religiously. My parents were kind of like, they believed that there was something bigger. They believed in an energy. They believed in some kind of God, but not the human God that we represent. And they were always very open. They were always, oh, your angels are watching over you. They were always kind of spiritual, but very laid back. Not like it was part of our daily experience. And so when he showed up, I was like, you are real. And he's like, yep. Because I really thought that was a man-made story. And I never really reached out. So because I thought he wasn't real. And he said to me, they're going to sacrifice you first before they're going to praise you, is what he told me. And he's been there ever since that moment where I was going to quit. I was done. I didn't want my kids to be in danger. And so he pulled me through it, and he said, no, you're not done. You're not done. You're going to keep going. So he sticks around very often now. And then I have two angels. I have Marna and Raphael. And then I have a guide called Eric. So that's who's usually around me. My dad stops by, but not very often, which I think is kind of annoying because I'm like, Dad, all these people come and say hello every day, yet you are off somewhere in the imaginary Bahamas, because every time I see him, he's like tanned as hell. He's got this beautiful glow, and it looks like he just came from the beach. So
Oh.
I'm a little bit jealous that he's having too much fun up there.
What does
Um,
spirit say about like the animal kingdom and our animals?
well, animals are just like us. We're the same soul. We're the same spirit. It's just a different choice, different chosen incarnation. So really, the thing is with heaven, a lot of people ask me, oh, is there such a thing as an animal heaven and a human heaven? And heaven is not one place. That's the thing. It's a collection of infinite amounts of levels of high vibrational energy. So it's just high dimensions. So heaven is in many different places at the same time. And when we die, we first create for ourselves kind of what we've gotten accustomed to. We were probably going to create a little human heaven where we can feel comfortable until we realize that we're not really just this form, that there's more to it. Same with the animals. They'll go until they get kind of detoxed of that perspective, that limited perspective. But really, ultimately, all the souls are the same energy. We're all the same. And so you can be an animal in one time. You can be a human in another lifetime. You can be an ET in another lifetime. You can take any shape or form as you please. You can be the wind, which is a collective energy, and actually be part of that to see what that feels like to be the wind, or to be a tree or whatever it is you want. But animals are just as, to me, because I do animal readings, are just as conscious about death as we are. But they're far more relaxed about it. So they do grieve, they do miss their partners, they miss their children, and so on and so forth. So they do have the grieving, but there's also a knowing that they're not far away. They're going to see them one day. So I think that animals, to me, are a little bit more advanced than we are. They're already in the 5D, and so for them the ascension is a lot more easier. But you're also seeing an evolution in the animal kingdom. I don't know if you've noticed that there's so many videos out there of different species helping each other that would never help each other in the past. You would either be eaten or or get flung away. Go away, you. And now you're seeing crocodiles with which birds on them, or with some kind of animal just taking a taxi ride to the shore. um, the animals are changing. They're evolving like we are. They're ascending. And this is kind of exciting. What Spirit told me is, as we're ascending together, because Earth is ascending, so we're ascending with her. Um, our communication between humans and animals is improving. It's slowly but surely. We're going to better understand each other and be able to actually have conversations with each other. Maybe not like we are right now, but to actually be able to comprehend each other. And you see that now. There's a lot of videos out there where dogs are imitating certain words or communicating with buttons because they're really starting to understand us, and we're starting to understand them through that kind of information. And the more we evolve and the more we ascend vibrationally, the more we're going to pick up on this kind of intuitive language, this kind of telepathic communication that's happening, because animals really communicate with energy, with emotionality. They give me a lot of visualizations when I talk to them. They don't use language, they use visualizations, feelings, and they just give me this kind of energetic flow, to let me know if they're in pain or if they're happy, or if there's something that they're like, that I'll just feel it on an energetic level. And I think everybody who's moving into 5D and really kind of working on that ascension will feel closer to their pets, will feel like, are they really getting what I'm saying here? You'll get that feeling. And the answer is yes. So I think we just need to continue to build on that communication so we can have a better relationship with all entities on this planet, because we're going to have to, in order to ascend, we have to learn to work together again. And that means insects and animals and plants, and because plants communicate also. So to me, there's no difference between animals and plants. They're equally aware. equally family oriented, and equally aware of death and the transitioning phase. So I think people make this distinction, oh, animals and plants. Well, I'm a vegan, I'll only eat the plants. Well, they're just as alive as you just don't notice their communication because you're not picking up on it. But they are very much aware. When you lean against them, they know you're there. They can even see the color of your shirt. They can see many things. So just know and talk to everything. I talk to my flowers. When I trim my hedge, I'm like, I'm just going to give you a haircut. Don't be alarmed, okay? I let them know. But I think that's going to be the beauty of 5D, is everybody working together to make life more beautiful and to make life more easy for each other. So that's going to be great.
It seems like even in some of the Hopi legends, Lisa was saying in Hopi legends, dogs could speak. Well, I've heard animals could speak with humans, and then we could speak with the trees. So if all these abilities are coming back when we move into 5D, what abilities are we going to get?
Well, I think a lot of people are going to have more and more communication with the energies around them. And that might be hard for people right now to fully comprehend what that is. But what it basically is going to feel like is you're going to be able to intuitively feel instantly, that's where I need to go. That's not where I need to go. That's what I need to buy. That's not what I need to buy. We're going to make decisions and really start living more from what feels right and what feels more aligned with us. That's going to be the driving force behind everything you do in life. What you're going to eat, how many vitamins should I take today? 2 or 1. What feels better? Okay, 1. My body wants 1. Okay. And that changes everything, because right now the humans have always made decisions based a lot on fear, on steady beliefs, incorrect beliefs of what is expected of them. Basically, when we look at humans now, everything that most of us do is because it's expected of us, or it was imprinted in us that now you have to work, and now you have to have babies, and then you have to have this, and then there's these pre-programmed ideas of what life is supposed to look like, and you have to fall along with this kind of pre-created narrative of what social life is. All of that is going to fade away eventually, and it's going to be, how do you want to experience your life? What gifts do you have that you can share with your community in order to have an exchange of energy? It's going to be based a lot more on that. And I know this is not for next year. This is going to take, it's a 12-year cycle, right? The ascension started in 2012. It's ending in 2024. The timelines at the end of 2024, or I don't like using the timelines. Time doesn't exist. The parallel dimensional realities, right? They're right next to each other, are going to start slowly but surely separating starting 2025. But it's going to be another 12-year cycle before all these lines are so separated that we'll no longer be influenced by the 3D, by the 4D. And then they're not going to see the 5D either if they choose to stay there, which is absolutely fine. So not every soul is going to ascend.
So would you not, like, when the timeline split, would you not be able to see like your family members that are jerks?
No. Eventually, what happens is when we're on a different frequency, we just cannot attract them into our lives. It's just not possible. It's kind of like, imagine what is that called? A skyscraper. And you're on different levels, right? And you're hanging your head out the window, but you can only look straight. So whoever's in 3D can't see 5D because they're up there. Whoever's in 4D won't be able to see the 3D, the 5D either, but they will be able to still see the 3D. Whoever's in 5D will be able to see everything should they choose to, but most of them will choose not to because it's too chaotic and it's too negative. They'll be like, no, that's not part of me anymore. I'm in a different world right now. So they're going to be able to see everything, but they're going to choose to not, because it's just not going to be able to, it doesn't benefit anybody in any way or form. Does that kind of make sense?
Oh yeah. Does spirit ever give you advice on like how we could easily transcend ourselves and move into the 5D? Like a lot of us, I think, are fluctuating. You know, we have a bad day and we're, you know, experiencing a lot of 3D things. We have a lot of symptoms. A lot of my clients have symptoms, and their higher selves will say, you know, well, they give the advice that the higher self gives, but what does spirit say?
Well, I think what's really important, and they've repeated that a numerous amount of times, is surrendering. Don't get frustrated about it. You know, the biggest thing you want to ground yourself in 5D is you have to just be. Stop working at it. Working is 3D and 5D and 4D. Okay. Work. Oh, that's the goal. And we have to go. It doesn't mean you can't have intention. Ooh, wouldn't it be great if I have that? Wouldn't it be great if I could experience that? Send out your intentions. Boom, create it. I haven't seen it yet, but it's there. You have to know that the moment you come up with it, it is a possibility for you to align with. And then you release it. It's there. I will get there. Okay. I will align with it. No worries. The more you surrender to that just being attitude, and people say, well, then you can't produce anything or you're not really being productive. Yes, you can. The more being means that you're just simply allowing yourself to be present fully in the moment, to be fully present with your feelings, your ideas, your drive, your communication that's happening, that's being sent to you. And you're fully active and available for the guidance and the opportunities to show up. That's really what it is. So you're actually going to be more productive when you just surrender to the natural flow. Instead of just trying to control and forcing. Oh, I got to heal. The 5D is going to go away. I'm going to miss the train. And no, you're not going to miss it. You're going to get there at your own pace. You just need to know that the more you relax into it, the more you just allow yourself to be present. Have fun each day. Don't worry about it so much, and just make sure that every day you try to heal whatever fear you might still be holding on to, or whatever trauma you haven't processed yet, but that you do it with kindness and with love and with patience. Be patient with yourself and know that you're already in the 5D. Your ticket's reserved. Your spot's already been taken. It's been filled in. You're good to go. You're just waiting for everything, your energies to start aligning with that reality. So the more you surrender, the more you just know that you're already there, the more that you start to act upon your highest excitement, you act upon your passions, the more you learn to be kind, turn what you intellectually know into what you do, because I think that's the biggest issue with people is they intellectually know everything, right? They've listened to every book and they've read everything, and they listen to every teacher and they know everything intellectually, kindness, compassion, self-healing, self-empowerment. They know everything intellectually. Yet when you observe what they do on a daily basis, what they say to themselves, what they say out loud, what they think, what they feel, they go in the morning to look at themselves and go, ugh, where's the self-love? You have to become what you know.
Okay, well, I have a question. Like, okay, people say in their sessions all the time they can change the way they look. They could look younger. A lot of my clients are saying now that in the 5D, and I was going to ask you if this is true, even just a recent one, that you start to look younger in the 5D than when you're in the 3D. Is this correct? And then how do we make if we wanted to, how do we make ourselves look younger?
Well, embrace your childlike energy. I don't look my age either. Are we going to look younger? That's so fun. Look, the thing is, can I tell you something? And look, don't be angry. Yeah. If you're asking yourself that question, you're still very much in the 3D. That's just the reality, because it's not about what you look like. It's how you feel about you. That's important. And how you
That's
feel
true.
will reflect and change how you look. Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Ask
Uh-huh.
yourself a
Yeah.
different question. Don't ask yourself how we're going to look like. Ask yourself, what do I want to feel like? Because this is what changes your body. Look, your body
Mhm.
is a self thinking organism. Okay. It has its own consciousness. And even when we disconnect and die, the body continues to live on for another few days, right? Hair keeps
Wait,
growing, cells
what?
are still alive, even though you're declared dead and deceased, the
So is it
body
bad to
continues.
cremate? Is it bad to cremate a body then?
I would wait a couple of days until it's completely out of fuel, yeah. Because
Does the body get upset? Sorry, to interrupt you, but
no, that's fine. Okay, the body does get upset, but not the way that we do. Okay, the body is a self-thinking organism, but it doesn't have the consciousness where it needs to accomplish things. It is basically reactive to our soul consciousness, and it gets fed by our energy, what people call chi, or light energy. So the body is a self-thinking organism, but it only focuses on survival, right? Because it needs to survive in order to give us the experience that we want to have. And then it basically, once it dies, it takes a couple of days. It'll keep trying to live. When you examine a deceased body, you'll see that there's still a lot of cells alive trying to survive somehow. Eventually all of that energy gets depleted, and then its consciousness gets reabsorbed by the collective. That's basically what happens, by the universe, by all that is. And it just gets reabsorbed. So but the thing is, it is reactive to you. In other words, everything that happens to your body is in some way or form consciously attracted or created by us. So if you're ascending, and you're feeling great about you, because that's what's important, not what you look like. You look perfect the way you are, because that's what you chose. This is the vehicle you chose very consciously and very precisely. You wanted to have this exact vehicle, so there's a reason for it. But the idea of we all need to look pretty and we all need to look younger, that is very much that imprinted. Somebody's touching me. Who is it?
who is
Somebody's
it?
here. I think it's Eric. He's just tickling me. He's going, hey guys. She's such an idiot. See, now you got me all distracted, Eric. No. So, what was I saying? So,
About
oh yeah.
feeling like
So, we need to look younger, and we need to look a certain way. That is really that programmed 3D way mentality. So, as long as you're still thinking that way, what you feel and how you are in life is far more important than what you look like, isn't it? But what eventually, what this is kind of cool though. Spirit told me that we're just still talking many years from now, but as we're ascending and we're going to be grounded in that new world and so on and so forth, we're going to start realizing that our bodies have far more capacities to survive much longer periods of time. And the human race can actually live up to between 3 and 500 years, actually. So that's the capacity, but it's our mind and our belief system. We get old around that time, that creates the old age, really. But a lot of people now
they
are
feel
living to be
good.
like 100, right? They live to be 100. So many people now, and people are like, it's because the medicine is better. Hell no, the medicine is more toxic than ever before. But it's because we believe that the medicine is better, that we're actually living longer. So, will you get younger? The better you feel, the better your body looks. That's the reality. But please don't focus on just the outside. Focus on the inside, and that will reflect back on the outside. That will
But if
influence the
you did
body.
want to look younger, you would feel good on the inside. You would tell yourself, or, I feel amazing inside. And I love,
Exactly.
I
You
would,
want to look better? It's not about what you eat. It's not about what you drink. It is about how you see yourself, how you choose to live. the way, the manner of living, wholesome living is the answer to looking young and bright and having the energy like a young girl. That's the truth, because so many people say, oh, and there's so much confusion around food nowadays, isn't it? This guy says eggs are good. This guy says eggs are bad. What is it? You can't drink milk anymore. You can't do bread anymore. What the hell? You want to know my take on that?
Yeah.
How you feel about what you eat and how you feel about yourself and how you choose to either live in a stressful environment or a non-stressful environment is what keeps your body healthy. Okay. My great grandfather smoked like a chimney. I swear to God, that man smoked 3 packs a day, drank from morning to evening, ate fat food, anything that was unhealthy. That man lived to be 105. Okay.
Wow.
Because in his mind, he was doing great. He did not get into fear. He did not get stressed. He lived his life his way and he loved it.
Wow.
And then I know people who are seriously in a state of panic when it comes to food. They are so scared to eat the wrong thing that they're constantly researching. And sorry for the coughing, but I had whooping cough, so it's still a little bit there. But they're constantly, focused on, the universe had to shut me down because I was overworked again. They do that sometimes. I'm kind of stubborn. I don't want to listen when they say slow down, and I go, yeah, I can handle it. And like, stubborn ass. But I know people who do yoga and they do everything. I mean, jogging every day, swimming. Their diet is so calculated, and oh my God, and every vitamin has to be added to their drinks. And although they eat everything right, they still got cancer and they died at around 40. So the mind and how you choose to have, your experience. Stress is the biggest killer. Stress will kill you no matter how fit and no matter how healthy you eat. It'll kill you. Okay? That's just a fact. Because it's a lower energy and it's so toxic to the body that it literally consumes every cell in your body. Okay? That's what creates cancer. That's what creates a lot of things. Your mind is the most powerful thing there is. How you choose to live, how you choose to be grateful, how you choose to be happy with the smallest little thing. Every morning I say, yeah, electricity, score. Every day I get to take a shower. Score, baby, fresh water. I'm so lucky. Every day I find a way to, in a very fun and bubbly way, to say thank you for everything I have. And that's what keeps me in an okay state, unless I'm stubborn and I'm overworked. I usually don't get sick by what I eat, and I eat everything. I eat meat. People are like, you're not spiritual when you eat meat. I say thank you to whichever animal gave this for me for my survival. So, we get a lot of iron out of meats and we get a lot of protein out of meats. So it doesn't matter what you eat. What matters is how you live your life. The mindset, the energetic vibration, and the emotional health. If those 3 are in tip-top shape and you're not stressed out and you're just having fun with life and you're having fun with your job and you're being appreciative and loving and compassionate in your daily life, then no illness will come to you unless the universe is like, okay, take a little break, will you? Because you're too stubborn to do it yourself. We'll shut you down for a little bit. But other than that, that's what creates health and beauty. That's what makes your skin, shine, is just get rid of the stress, get rid of the fears, get rid of feeling like you need to perform all the time. If you're having a bad day, so what? Say, fuck it. I'm having a bad day, guys. Sorry. Human here. Let's go through it. Let's sit with a big pot of ice cream, watch Dirty Dancing in my pajamas all day and snob and snotter and let it all out. Right? That's what I do. Allow yourself to be a mess without judging yourself. Okay? I can guarantee you'll get rid of that stress because crying is your body's way of releasing lower energies, of toxic energies. That's why we cry. And so many people hold it in and it just becomes so toxic. Let it out. Cry like a baby. I cry at least a couple of times a week. Cry, 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 sob, 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 but don't get stuck in it. Just say, okay, I'm having a really bad day. Let's enjoy this bad day by doing everything that we're not supposed to. And then tomorrow morning, I wake up, it's a whole new me with a whole new world and a whole new possibility. And then you start over again. And that's what I do. Every morning is a new day. You're no longer the same person you were the day before. And you're just having a whole bunch of new possibilities, new energies to work with. So you need to see it as that. If you remain stuck in your past and you remain in your yesterday moment, then that becomes part of your daily life because you're bringing it into the now. You get a ticket from a cop who was just a kind of an idiot. Personal thing. You just kind of go, okay, that was yesterday. That was probably a different parallel reality. It never happens. That's what I always tell you. Because haven't you noticed that almost every day something's different? Something's changed. Like people who are really on the ascension, if you're starting to notice these little things changing. For example, not that long ago, I made 10 pots of jam, right? Jam to put on the butter and jam, fresh jam from my fruit in the garden. They're gone. I wake up one day, nowhere to be found. I look where I put them because I was going to take them to my mom because she loves jam. They're not there. I say, Gerald, where's the jam? He's like, right there. I'm like, no, it's not right there. He remembers it too, being right there. All of the jam disappeared. Nobody knows where it is. We've looked through the whole house. It's nowhere to be found. So I'm like, man, I made that jam and now I skipped to a new parallel version of the earth and now it's in the other parallel reality. I did all that work for nothing. Stupid things like that, right? And that's why we get so many Mandela effects now. People are starting to notice more and more changes. And it's because we have an infinite amount of parallel versions of the same 3D, 4D, and 5D Earth, right? And so every morning it is possible, or even not even during the day, that you switch to another parallel reality without you even noticing or feeling anything different. And it's because we're constantly, especially people who are ascending, we're in this kind of like trying to feel our energy. Am I here or am I here? And that's what you guys are feeling. You're kind of in this roller coaster of truth and this roller coaster of emotions. And you're like, you're having a good day, you're having a bad day, you're having a good day again. It's like, where am I in this mess, right? It's just you constantly switching parallel realities, getting a little bit closer to the 5D, but we have to go through an infinite amount of possibilities in order to really align with a reality that we are like, oh, okay, this is it. We're zen here. We feel good here. I want to stay here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And so that's what's happening in all of these. Yeah, that's what the Mandela effect is about. And you're going to be very aware every day of everything. And you're going to notice things that are like some of my friends said, I swear I sent that message. I saw it. I pushed it. It said send. And then the next day I go back to see if you've responded. And it's not even there. My message is gone. I never sent it. Or another one that was curious for us was, so we always go to our insurance person and it's always been an hour and a half. I know the route by heart. It's the same road every time. It's an hour and a half exactly. So the last time we went, me and Gerald go and we get there and I'm like, that's weird. We're early. So I look up on my Google Maps, where they show the itinerary. And my GPS says it's 45 minutes. And I'm like, how did that happen? Did they move closer? Same location, everything, but the travel distance has changed. Although the road is exactly the same. There's only one road to get there. So that was very shocking. Things like that. I don't know if you've noticed things like that, but
oh, definitely
weird stuff.
almost out of time. I have a little bit.
No,
I know, it's like so much fun. I hope you come back and talk
we
to
need
us
to do this
again.
again. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
all right, cool.
I'm like a talking fountain. You just have to cut me
We
off
love
at
it.
some point.
But how do people reach out to you? And are you still doing readings? Do you have availability?
I do just
Everyone
still
wants to know.
yeah, I still do. Okay, I still do private readings. I do. Unfortunately, I'm fully booked at this time, but I think on the 13th of November, I will reopen my schedule for the next year. Now, usually that gets complete. The year gets filled in in about an hour or two. So, really being quick and sending me an email on that day
What's
is
your
the
email?
message.
What? Oh, or yeah.
Well, I would just go to my website, emmanuellemcintosh.com, and then you can send messages from there, and my email address is on there as well. I do have a Patreon page where I do a lot of channeling. So I think you're on there as well. So we talk about everything. And it's just you guys sending me questions and me channeling answers with spirit. We've had many different spirits come through. Pocahontas has come through, Albert Einstein, Tesla. So we've had a lot of interesting stories where even I was like, what? No way that is what the moon is. So the moon to me was a very interesting one.
What is the moon?
Well, you gotta go see it.
Oh, okay. We have to go to Patreon.
Go check it. We'll be here for another hour if I start talking about that. We'll save that one for next time.
Yeah, let's talk about the moon. I'd love to know more about
Right.
the moon.
Well, go see it. It's on my Patreon page. Very interesting. You know, sometimes even I'm like, what? No way. And they're like, way, so okay. Some people told me you should sell it. It's like a movie. The story. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. The day that the moon arrived, go check it out. The moon hasn't always been here. Anyway, and I'm also having a live event on September 7th. Right here in France. I know Sarah wanted to come, but she's already on a cruise somewhere.
I'll be in Egypt.
Yeah, but maybe next time. We'll see. So if you're in the neighborhood or you're still willing to come, we're having people over from all over the world. A ton of people from Georgia. I don't know what's going on in Georgia, but everybody's coming from Georgia. Australia, a huge amount of countries in Europe, and even I think one person from Africa are flying in for the event. So it's going to be very international and just a lot of fun and a lot of giggles and a lot of channeling and just stuff. But yeah, and I'm working on a book, but I just need to find time to do it.
I understand that.
And I used to do a lot of celebrity channelings, and a lot of people want me to continue those. And I haven't. It's not that I haven't. That I can't do it, although the energies are kind of a little willy wonky right now. I have been waiting till the energies are more stable because during those I trans channel, which is where spirit takes over my body, and that's not been able. Haven't been able to do that yet because of the unstable energies. But also, another reason why I'm holding off is because there's so much censoring, and I can't censor spirit. They will tell you directly and exactly what they want to say, And I've already been. My YouTube channel's already been like, if you make one more
one more wrong move.
I'm like, you know what? If you want to see my channeling, go to Patreon. Okay, they won't boo me off over there. So unfortunately, they are now trying to censor spirit as well. What can we say? What can we do? It's all going to get better. Trust in it, folks. And don't trust the bullshit that they're trying to feed you. Trust yourself. You and you alone knows what's right for you. And I think that's really important. As you're going through the ascension, you're the only one who can determine for him or herself whether you are in a good place, yes or no. So you want to ascend, work on being in a good place with yourself, with where you are at this moment, knowing fully and being very aware that what you want to experience has already been created. And then the more you surrender and the more you allow yourself to just be and flow at your own current, the more and the quicker you're going to align with that reality and start to see it. So that's my advice from me to you.
God, thank you so much. Thank you for coming and talking with us. I love you so much. You're amazing. And I'm so happy to hear that you'll come back, because
I'm there. Just tell me when and where. I am there.
Okay.
You know, I'm there.
All right.
Well, just thank you for being amazing as well, because you do an amazing job. And I know it's not hard, and I know we're getting all attacked, but that's just part of the game. Okay. Yeah. Just keep that in mind. Anybody who tries to awaken anyone or tries to share enlightened information will be attacked, but it's only temporary. They've already lost. They just don't know it yet.
I love it. I love it. I love you all.
Blank.
Thank you guys for joining us. I love you, Emma. You're amazing. And
Love you too.
This replay will be available, and I'm also going to put your website on there again, but it's in this chat, just so everyone can get it. And check out her Patreon, because it's amazing. And also her live event. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honey.
You.
Love you. Bye.
Oh,